sir.
But with the will, there is a way. But the way is dictated by the people, but the people gave the power to the industry. So now while the industry gives away, the people don't like the journey. So as you continue on your journey into freestyle and hip hop, you had the name.
Back then I was known as J-Rock.
J-Rock. Okay.
Everybody was a rock, a ski or something.
Ski, rock,
you know what I mean?
Or MC, DJ, or they had the same name, like Larry Loud, something like that. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Larry Loud, by the way. You was in North Newark.
Yeah.
Now the history of North Newark was Italian, Hispanic, and if you came from certain parts of the city, you couldn't go there.
Yeah.
You know? And
not even that bad. A little bit deeper than that. There was certain parts. I'm from Grafton.
Shout out to Grafton Ave, by the way.
Grafton Ave. Shout out Gap Town, what up? When I was growing up, when I was a little youngin', you couldn't go up 3 blocks. What's that? You had Summer, Woodside. You couldn't go on my Prospect 3 blocks away. Because the Italians would run you off of that. It was that close. You know what I mean? So a lot of people don't really know that, but yeah, it was that deep. It was a lot of Italians down the projects when we moved on Grafton. I'm one of the 70s babies down there.
I can imagine because
you know what I mean?
That's when Freelheisen was popping and them bakeries had that bread. You could smell it all through the city.
Yeah.
I got you.
You want to come off that bread.
Yeah, I got you. That was the time when people used to walk over the bridge on Osborne Terrace, and depending on who you was, you had to get clearance.
Yeah, to get clearance.
I know that era pretty well. And I know this though. When hip hop hit the city of Newark, it was an underground buzz that went through all the high schools. And everybody had a crew, a clique. People had their names on the back of their jackets. It was that era.
Jean jackets, round stones.
Yeah,
with the graffiti on it.
And the pressure was to either stand out to be in a crew or to start your own crew.
Start your own, yeah.
How did you succumb or conquer that pressure?
The crazy part about that, I didn't start rocking with crews until the mid-80s. Actually, when I went to Valesburg, we done our first crew. It was me and my man Sean, Double S the Dean. And we started our first crew. It was J-Rock and Double S. You know what I mean? And we used to walk around. Shout out to Peppermint Lounge. Shout out to Mr. Peppermint. Mr. Peppermint, he was a good dude. If he saw something in you, he knew we was young. We was like 16, 17, getting in there. But he put us in the back when they had the open mics. He used to let us come in, perform, do what we gotta do. Then we get out, just so we could be heard, like when he had a lot of people up in there. We used to rock there. It was another spot right here on Springfield Avenue we used to walk to. Wow, right there at Grove and Springfield Ave.
Not the Manor.
Not the Manor. I forgot the name. It was right a block down from actually a block up from Grove Street, and it was right there on the corner. I forgot the name of that, but we went through the same thing there. Cause back then we was finding ourselves. So we used to take old songs. You know what I mean? The first one we done was How Melvin and the Blue Notes, I Love You. So me and my man, we used to go there, we do our little same thing, and rap. The drummer play, just throw a little drum, kick, snare, whatever. We're singing. We used to rock back to back. The adults loved it. So with that, the more he used to let us do that, we used to that's what made us get more deep into it. You know what I mean? A lot of that's one thing I can say now that you mentioned that. We used to hit them streets, man. Anywhere there was somewhere to rock, whether it's anything, we do it. We get there, and that's how I got known. And besides that, from the kickboxing and from doing production, that's how I got my name. You know what I mean? But that's how I got known. I put it like that. From that.
The 50 thing. I'm sorry.
That's what I was saying. That's when you get the notoriety.
Yeah.
Because when you out there, like we spoke on the Zoom, you know, The most interesting thing about being noticed is you putting effort and energy on the table.
Facts.
Being visible. Because a lot of people invisible is making a lifestyle because of the simple fact that, you know, they settle, but they not going to get that motivation and direction. Mm-hmm. And if assistant, like we said earlier, it's a little more obscene. Mm-hmm. So for to go out there, like at our age, to go out there and do something, it's like reviving, mm-hmm. bringing or rebirth. Because you can put him in a mix of gospel hip hop. We call it biblical testimonial. Mm-hmm. And you got a lot of cats that rock with him that will give you all the sex, money, murder, drugs, and they be like, "Oh, can I get on that beat with you?" But the first thing we always be controversial, but we always political with the music and stuff like that. The first thing they like to do is say, "I like to thank God where I got it from."
Stop right there, because you're going too fast. You're gonna take me out. You're gonna take me off of the interview.
I got you.
But that's good, though. Glad you put that out there, because that's gonna give people to where we're gonna go. What's the name of the place?
The Club Cayenne. And the reason why I wanted to bring that up,
okay.
I'm gonna show you how God works. I'm a firm believer of God don't put you in places for no reason. Mm-hmm. Now I was like 15, 16 years old. We sneaking into the clubs just to go spit a song and leave. Mm-hmm. The drummer from there, shout out Otis Brown, he was the drummer. Mm-hmm. He like a big brother to me, father, role model, everything. Mm-hmm. I ended up linking with him back in '93, mm-hmm. and he was part of my first album we dropped, Ghetto Heaven.
Dope.
And it was a long story. It was when we said, "Yo, I know you, but I can't remember where I know you from." But he said, "I know you, man." Mm-hmm. He said, "I know you, but I don't know where it is." And after us working together for about a month, he came back. He was like, "Yo," we started talking about Club Cayenne. He said, "There you go." He said, "I was the drummer there." Then we got to talking. We like, "Yeah," because he used to be like, "You know what? Yeah, here, y'all do y'all thing." We would show you, we ain't really had no bread. He'd be like, "Yo, here go a couple of hours, whatever. Mm-hmm. Get yourself a water, something. You do what you got to do. Mm-hmm. Then stick and move." Yeah. So Otis, shout out to Otis Brown.
Now, proving yourself in that era came with going from block to block.
Yeah, it was hard. It wasn't easy.
If you were the police officer, you had to walk around. That was called the beat.
Mm-hmm.
So you still had to know the temperature, the pulse, and the rhythm of the city, because you had to be where the MCs were.
Yeah.
What was the best cypher you ever went in and proved to you that not only could you rock, but the peers that you had looked at you like you was a problem?
Well, a few cats always liked me, mm-hmm. but I wasn't convinced enough. I always been my downfall. Even when I do music right now, mm-hmm. it gets to the point now, half of the time I don't even mix my stuff, because I'm my worst critic.
Okay.
But my best cypher I can say is when I got signed.
Okay.
Shout out to Trauma Mob, that was my group I was with. Mm-hmm. We had they had a cypher downtown North. My uncle had the arcade downtown. The twins, Billy and Bobby, those are my uncles.
Wow, the arcade right there.
Yeah, the Penny Arcade. Yeah, those are my uncles.
A lot of pool sticks.
Yeah.
That's the legendary cypher spot right there.
Yeah.
Right in the hole.
Shout out to the uncles. They had my game KOF 96 in there. Yo, shout out to y'all.
Yeah. So we used to have, they said, that was a cypher spot. Then after that, my man Hop, he used to rock, but he was a DJ right across the street. They had it was a shop that they had over there. My uncle used to let them bring the stuff out there, and we freestyle there. But the one that I'll say my biggest cypher was that I really found myself was across the street. This was in '91.
Okay. You talking back when they had the military store down there?
Yeah.
Ninja Stars.
That was a couple of doors down. Yeah, the Ninja Stars.
Yeah.
That used to be the spot. Then Universal. Yeah. Shout out Universal. You ain't from Newark if you don't know about Universal. You should get all our old school kicks there. But to get back to that, there's a lot of cats know me, you know what I mean? So I met these guys. They were like, yeah, we looking for somebody in the group. We was all out there just freestyling, doing our thing. And the cat was like, yo, something about you that's different. You'll fit hot with our group. I was like, all right, what's up? Well, let's talk about it, blah, blah, blah. So they was like, nah, but you gotta battle each one of the guys in the group.
Who was there?
Well, all about North kids, you know, the regulars down there. We was all like a big family down there. So, how you call it? What? It was like the regular North cats. If I'm not mistaken, these was down, the Gov was down there, Double O and them was all down there. You know what I mean? The main dudes, Tame. You know, me and Tame went to school. A lot of them I know. You know what I mean? They always gave me my props, but even with them, I was still really not. I was never big on. You know what I mean? Not tooting home, but I was never big on myself. I wasn't the conceited type. I let everybody judge. Even like right now, anything I do, I let everybody else judge where I'm at. I do what I do, you know.
And that's my biggest thing with him because
I'm too humble.
He don't put his confidence level and his expectations on a bar of bettering because of the simple fact that, you know, we had these conversations where we at an age level where some people won't listen to hip hop on the gospel level, but they'll listen to hip hop on a different level, you know, with we talked earlier, the sex, money, murder thing. But then at the end of the day, when he's spitting the gospel aspects of it with the lyrical talent of degrading the curse words and bringing comfort to the table, a lot of people don't want to hear it.
I'm gonna tell you why. We're gonna hit that on another part of the interview. Believe me, I'm gonna tell you why.
But, and this is where we come from, because to me, when I see what's in him, if he went to the other side of the table, it'd be a problem.
The problem that we have when it comes to hip hop is not how we judge ourselves, it's how we judge ourselves on the expectations of others. And that's how we always put ourselves not down, but we regress our potential. You can be great without being great to yourself.
Right.
You can be exceptional by being the exception. Here's what comes to mind when I think about how you rhyme. You could be the dictionary without even opening the book.
Yeah.
Because your identity would speak for itself. It's for other people to have the courage enough to come to the table
to relate
and relate to you. So as an MC in a cypher and an MC that's signed, in your opinion, in this part of the interview off, what made Trash a problem and what made Trash fall back?
You talking about falling back from doing secular or falling back of? I got a couple of ways I could go with that. It's a couple of things.
I'm gonna give you the lead. I'm gonna let him lead.
It's a story. It's a story behind it.
It's a story. In the case may be where we all got testimonies. We all grew up in the streets. We all got this intuition about how things are supposed to be based on life. But at the end of the day, we also got to do things in order to feed our families. That was what we related to in the beginning stages of before biblical testimony hit the table. So we go out there, we get our bread, we eat, we get our hustle. But then at the end of the day, we got to realize all the things, all the harm that we're doing to succeed, but we also never took everything. So we fed them, but also we fed our pockets. So the fundamentals in that was just acquiring something and have something to talk about. But then at the end of the day, the humbling came in. Well, you know what? Here, do this. Go take care of your kids. So it basically, we was hustling for nothing considerably, but at the end of the day, it was a privilege to do what we did. So then when that thing hit the table, you know what? Let's start putting the Bible verses in this music. Then he start relating to it where he was on both sides of the table. You know, 10 years ago, he's like, you know what? I'm done with the rest of the world. Let me go where I should be and not be misdirected by what other people think of me. So they gonna feel what they gonna feel. Like some of the music he may sample, but then if you think about what he sampled, people still didn't want to hear it, but they heard the beat. Oh, I know that song, but when he start rocking, I don't know that song.
Yeah.
Devastating to your ear.
Thank you for watching our presentation. We ask that you subscribe to our YouTube family and hit the notification bell for updates. Please like, comment, and share this video.
Devastating.
Real hip hop. Real hip hop. We here.